Hi everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm Amelia from the Fernseed here in Tacoma, Washington, coming to you live with our first interactive plant along. We have created a plant at home kit that is especially for the kids at home and kids at heart. Who want to do a fun potting and planting project to brighten up your home or to brighten up your home office if you're working from home like I am. So we created this kit that you can order and have shipped to your home. And we have scheduled this series of live interactive plant along sessions. So I'm really happy to have you all here with us today. Please, if you have any questions, just type them into the chat field. And I will try to answer as we go, and then definitely do a call for questions afterward as well. So just like you, I have my kit came to me here. Pretty excited. So this first kit, we call it the kid kit. It's packaged very carefully. So we have our vessel. Ooh, yeah, this is the mustard color, or I think they call it Harvest. This is a really sweet pot from Ecoforms. This is made of rice hulls, so it's a sustainable resource. It is actually biodegradable, but indoor or outdoors, it lasts 5 years before it starts to biodegrade. So it's still relatively long lasting, but it will biodegrade. It's not plastic. But it's kind of a great plastic alternative. It's not breakable for little hands or clumsy hands. It's really lightweight. It comes in a bunch of really cute colors. And it has great drainage. We have a bag of our fern seed. I got the potting mix here. So this is our house mixed potting soil in our awesome custom bags. And remember, if you have one of these, if you're local to us, hang on to this bag. Don't throw it away. Bring it back into the shop once we're open again someday. And you can get a refill for $1 anytime, as many times as you want. So we got our pot, we got our soil. Final piece. It's carefully wrapped here. Are you excited? I wonder. So these kits are generally coming with either a Sansevieria or a Haworthia, which we chose because they're really, really easy care plants that tolerate a lot of different conditions. Let me get out my scissors. They're not pokey, so no one's going to get thorns in their hands planting this. They can live a really long time, and they're just great little kind of desk plants, perfect for your home office. I have a beautiful little Sansevieria here, and it is packed super carefully. There's all this like raffia protecting it. And it's an absolutely beautiful little plant. It's one of my favorite plants. I'm going to enjoy telling you a little bit more about Sansevieria and about Haworthia. So you can see a cute little Sansevieria here. It looks like it's in great shape. So I'm going to set my packing materials aside. So those are the 3 things that come in this particular plant along kit. Plant, pot, and soil. So while we get ready, I want to give everybody a chance to join in. So I'm going to run down the list of supplies that I would recommend you have on hand. Everyone who ordered the kit, I emailed and recommended what to have ready, but just in case you missed it. If you're planting indoors in your house like I am, I definitely recommend some kind of tray or plate. This is just like a baking tray. Just to catch the soil, keep it off your floor as much as possible. You want to have some type of scoop. This is the potting scoop that we use in the shop and that we sell in the shop. I think we're out of stock on the website right now, sadly. These are super handy. I think we sell them for $5. It's my favorite little tool. But you can totally use a tablespoon or just any little scoop. Your measuring spoons or measuring cup, or just use your fingers. This is my actual, oh hey, Catherine pipes in, we're adding more potting scoops to the website today. So I will have a link for you to shop and purchase that soon. Okay, this is my actual single favorite tool. If you are going to be doing much potting from home, get you a little fan brush. This particular one is a paintbrush that I just got at Artco. You can also get these makeup brushes that have this type of shape. It is the thing that we use the most in the shop. We kind of joke about, like, if you only have one tool, this is the thing you want. We use it for dusting the plants, dusting the shelves. This nice little narrow end is also very handy, which I'll show you what we do with that soon. You may wish to have scissors. These are my dedicated plant scissors. They're bonsai shears. They're nice and sharp. If you find that you're going to be cutting any parts of your plant, just make sure they're cleaned in between every use, so you're not spreading anything from plant to plant, just in case. Just a best practice. So, as I started to say, if you ordered one of these, you will have received either a Sansevieria or a Haworthia. And I have a Haworthia here as well, just to show you. This is a really cute little succulent plant. It is, it looks a lot like an aloe, and it's actually fairly closely related to aloe. It is not medicinal, used for medicinal purposes as aloe vera is. It doesn't have that soothing gel in its leaves, but what it does have on aloe is it's really quite hardy, and it's not toxic for your pets. Whereas aloe vera actually is kind of mild to moderate toxicity for cats and dogs. So this is safe. I wanted to give you a little bit of information about each of these plants. Haworthia really is one of my favorite little succulents. If you watched my last video, you know I'm kind of weird about my succulents. But Haworthia it's much more structured, like rigid leaves, if you can see that. It feels much hardier. It's less temperamental. It tolerates kind of a range of different light conditions. It's adorable. I believe this is a zebra. Yeah, a zebra Haworthia. So it's got these really striking stripes. So it adds a lot of great texture and color to your desk or what have you. It's native to southern Africa, specifically South Africa, and coming up into Mozambique and Namibia. It definitely requires well-draining soil and doesn't want to be overwatered. As with all succulents and with most plants, it can be prone to root rot, but otherwise it's generally a lot more tolerant of kind of being treated different ways than a lot of other succulents. Those are all my notes on Haworthia. Okay, Sansevieria, if you have one of these, there are so many different forms of Sansevieria. You may have something that's really dark like this. You may have received, I have another one here that's this really pale, creamy color. There's a lot of different looks. These are native to Western Africa, Nigeria, and into the Congo. So again, these are also super, super easy care plant. These are moderately toxic to cats and dogs. So if you received one of those and you have a little furry friend, make sure that you put this somewhere they're not going to get into it. It's not one of the super, super poisonous plants out there for them, but it still would probably give them a tummy ache, and they'd probably need to just go to the vet and get checked out if they did get a good, mouthful of this and ingested it. Sansevieria goes by many names, most commonly called the snake plant. It's also called mother-in-law's tongue, viper's bowstring, St. George's sword. I'm not sure what that story is. I don't really know too much about St. George. It's just a beautiful plant. This is one of those plants, I like to tell people you could put this literally anywhere in your home. You can put this in a very dark area. You can put this in a very bright window, and then anywhere in between. The amount of water you give it will correlate to the amount of light that it's getting. If it's in a very, very dark area, like a bathroom or an office with no window at all, you're going to water it very rarely indeed, like every 4 to 6 weeks. And then just a little bit more frequently if it's getting more light. It's a wonderful plant. It's a great air purifier. It rates high up there on that, NASA Clean Air Study. And actually, we don't talk about this a whole lot, but this is actually technically a Dracaena. We now know it's under that Dracaena genus. So, little trivia for you. Okay, I think we're going to start potting. So I will pot today this Sansevieria. Got my pot, I've got my plant, I've got my soil, I have my tools. You ready to go? So first off, in your pot, little tidbit you might want to check. The manufacturer put this really tough to remove sticker on the bottom of these pots. Take your brush or your chopstick. You can use your fingernails if you want, but I just use it and pop right through those holes so my drainage isn't covered up. Just to make sure it's clear. It's got 4 drainage holes instead of 1, which is great. So it's going to actually drain well. So now you have some drain holes in there. Cute, right? But it does the job. So I get out my snake plant or my Haworthia, and I just give this a good little massage. And really kind of squish the sides all around. On your Sansevieria especially, you may feel the sides really bulging and like tight and bumpy on the sides, or you may feel the soil's really flexible and loose. If you feel it bulging, that means that it is growing and it's going to have more babies coming up on the sides. So that's going to be really exciting to see. I may have one over here. We'll see. Your plant may pop right out. This one came right out. If it doesn't, the other trick is get your chopstick or your brush again and just go in and poke into these holes. And you can poke into each one and kind of wiggle it around if you need until it just pops right out. That's a pro tip for you. When you pot 100 times a day, you learn the tricks. If you get desperate, you may actually want to cut the pot off, but not too likely. So I always just like to take a quick look at my plant's roots. This looks absolutely great. It's got lots of roots. It does have one tiny baby coming up. It's so small. I'm kind of surprised I could even feel that in the pot. They are really bright and like almost white, pale green. They're super, super cute. And that is just going to eventually come up and push its way up out of the soil and open another rosette kind of shape like this. When it's big, you can take this out and actually cut that and propagate it as its own new plant, or you can just kind of maintain this really cute full look. So this one has quite loose soil. We have kids in the basement, sorry if you can hear yelling. My husband is with the kids downstairs right now. Working from home is amazing. So almost all of the soil actually just fell away on this one, so you can really see the roots. And you can now see how it's going to fit really beautifully in this pot. If the soil hung onto the roots, that's okay too. I want to show you another example. In case you have soil that is more compacted, I'm just going to pull out this Haworthia here. So you can see this one is also fairly loose, but these can get really quite hard. So that's the time to take your chopstick again and just kind of gently break it up around the edges and kind of shake off any extra. These plants have not been sitting at our shop a real long time. This soil is relatively fresh. from our wholesale nursery. But whenever you repot, it's kind of a nice time to give it as much fresh soil as you can to sort of get a good fresh start. So I do, and you can if you wish, just remove as much of the old soil as you can or as you want to. Sorry about the kid sounds. This is my trademark of my videos. Does anyone have toddlers? So fun. Okay, so here is my Haworthia. And again, you can see just how cute it's going to sit in here. Oh my God, so cute. I'm going to continue back to my Sansevieria. I'll put my Haworthia aside for next time. So I'm going to get out my potting mix and my scoop. Thanks, everybody. Getting such kind comments here. So this is where this scoop is so lovely. Like, you see those big trowels and big potting scoops, and they're just kind of ridiculously too much for this kind of small plant and small pot situation. So this is like just the right amount. So I just take my pot and I set it on my tray here. Kind of visualize how I want my plant to sit in here, and you can kind of hold it at the level you want with your fingers. And just start to gently shake the soil in. And this is where your tray's coming in handy, so you're not dropping it all over the place. And just kind of gently fill it in. You don't need to pack it tightly. Just what I usually look for is that when it's very, very loose, it's up to the top and maybe even a little bit above the top of the pot, as you can see there. And then you can use either your finger or your chopstick or brush and just really gently and loosely push it down in there, especially around those corners. And you'll see the level come down a little bit. And then if you wish, you can leave it at that, or if you like a fuller look, which I do, I typically like to fill my pots almost to the top because it will settle a little bit more over time, and as you water it. I'm gonna do just like a little partial scoop and do the exact same thing one more time. Just give a little bit around the edges and tap it back down in. You guys, can you believe how easy this is? So now if you are lucky enough to have a fan brush, this is where I use the other end, and I just really gently dust it off, clean it all up. You can dust your plant too, because oftentimes a little bit of soil will get on the leaves. You can get way in there. You won't hurt your plant because this is so gentle and delicate. And voila, you have a beautiful potted Sansevieria. This will live for years to come. You can set it on your desk. You can give this as a gift. You can give it to your preschool teacher when you finally see them again and are so happy and relieved. You can put this, like I said, anywhere in your home, dark to bright. And it's absolutely adorable. And that's it. Did everyone succeed? Did you get to the end? Let me know if you have any questions about these plants, about these pots, about potting, about the fern seed. I'm just going to hang out here for another minute and see if any questions come in. I will say, because I know that this soil is pretty fresh. I'm gonna save it. There's plenty of room in my bag, so I'm just gonna keep this. Anytime I'm saving soil, which I don't always, because it does get kind of used up. Not very technical term there, but all the good stuff in there can get used up. But in this case, I'm just checking through it, making sure there's no big chunks of roots or leaves or anything. A couple kind of dry leaves came off that Haworthia. And then I'll just scoop it right back into my bag. Oh, I have a couple questions coming in. How do you know when it's ready to be repotted? That's a great question, Oriana. Thank you. So very general rules, I would say once a year-ish. Again, because when you go through a growing season, which is typically the warmer months for most of these plants, they're going to be using a lot more of the nutrition out of the soil in their faster growing times. So spring can be a good time to give it some fresh soil so it can really soak up all that new good fresh stuff. We sell these bags of potting mix. We sell both potting and cactus mix. And it's just a really good organic potting soil that we amend with additional perlite, pumice, good stuff to assist with drainage primarily. So we sell these. These are available on our website. I like to keep one around for whenever I feel like a plant is ready to be repotted. A couple other things that I look for other than just strictly the amount of time is you remember that little baby Sansevieria about to pop up. When I start to see that come up, I may get the sense that it's getting a little tight in this small pot. So that would be a time to pop it out, see about removing that pup, and either put it back in here or into a bigger vessel, because space is really the other main reason. Typically when you repot, you want to jump up by approximately another 2 inches in pot diameter. So this is approximately a 4-inch pot, which is 4 inches across. So you would size up to something 6 inches across, so it'd be about this big. That's sort of just your very general rule. Another sure sign is if you're seeing a lot of roots either coming out through these holes or sometimes even up above the soil, where the roots are just really crowding out of the soil that you have. The other question I saw was, how often do you water? This plant I touched on before, very, very rarely. If it's in a very bright area, maybe every 3 to 4 weeks. If it's in most other places in your home, 4 to 6 weeks. This is this plant, the easiest way to hurt this plant is to overwater it. If you are starting to get mushy or root rot, those are things that are really hard for this plant to come back from. Whereas if it gets a little too dry, for one, it's very tolerant of it, and then two, you can typically get it rehydrated again with a good soak, and it will probably just be fine. For the Haworthia, similarly, I would say approximately once a month, kind of typical succulent care. Although I do think it is a little bit more tolerant of an erratic watering schedule than a lot of those other really soft-bodied succulents. But about once a month for this too. And same story there, better to underwater than to overwater. Any other questions? Okay, I have a comment. You're not sure what your plant is. It came with cactus mix and has many smallish leaves. It's probably a Haworthia. If the leaves are kind of narrow and pointed, it's a Haworthia, which is related to aloe. It's a succulent. And I think we would have sent the cactus mix with that one because it is in that. Oh, nope. It has many smallish leaves. Does it look more like this with very broad leaves? I know a few people might have received an actual aloe plant. I experienced that too. What did we send you guys? Send me a picture. I'll tell you for sure. So that is one thing I'll say is that both Haworthia and Sansevieria have many, many different varieties. So they're all essentially the same plant, but they may look a little bit different. So if you're not sure and you really want help identifying it, I mean, it is either some type of Haworthia, some type of Sansevieria, or potentially looks like a couple people did get aloe. So send me a picture and we will let you know for sure. Okay, anybody else? Thanks for participating, everyone. This is so fun. And I would love to see pictures of your finished potted plant. That would really make my day, especially if you had little kids working on that. That is so fun to see. And with your permission, we would love to share it to our Instagram stories as well, to inspire other people at home. It has red tips on the leaves. I sent you a pic in the messenger part on Instagram. Okay, I will check it and I will get back to you, or one of us will get back to you. Thank you. So as a reminder, I am going to do this live broadcast again 1 week from today, Friday, April 3rd at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. If you were seeing this and thought it looked like fun, there is totally still time to order your plant along kit to do this exact same project. I believe we have been restocked, so anyone ordering now should be receiving Sansevieria or Haworthia. Catherine, correct me if I'm wrong. And then we also have a second project that is coming that we're going to do the plant along 2 weeks from now on whatever the next Friday is after April 3rd. And I'm going to show you what we're going to make. It's very cute. It is a hanging glass terrarium with a fern inside and everything that fern needs to have a beautiful kind of self-sustaining environment, with a happy little moisture bubble. It's so pretty. So there's plenty of time to order this. Oh, excuse me, sorry about that. There's plenty of time to order this, and join us again. So send us all your questions, send us your pictures of your projects. Let us know how your plants are doing in their new homes. Is this kit on the website? It sure is. If you look, we have a section that's called kits, and you'll see both the kid kit, which we just did today, and then I think it's just called Hanging Terrarium. So you can order that and get it on its way in plenty of time. Thank you, everyone. I hope to see you again soon. We are currently sold out on that terrarium kit. Oh, well done. That's great news, but we do hope to restock it. I think it's an issue of the glass globes. So once we have that, you'll see it back in stock on the website. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I am going to sign off, and I'll see you again soon on the internet.